Coming up on today's episode of Technoid, the iPhone 13 camera system has been reportedly leaked by some kind of guy on Twitter. I'm not sure exactly how efficient this rumor is, but I will break it down to you and I'll explain whether I think it is true or not. Also on today, keeping up with the iPhone 13, Ming-Chi Kuo has predicted a new analysis that Apple will not be releasing headphones in their boxes of the new iPhone. I'll explain exactly what that means. Also, Samsung releases a brand new paying system that will debut this summer called Samsung Money. I will break it down in its entirety. All that on today's episode, so stay tuned. Yo, what's happening everybody? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid. Hope you all are doing excellent. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Now guys, I did an unboxing of the brand new Samsung Galaxy Bud Plus in Aura Blue. It was a live stream. I am going to refilm it and make a re-review, revisiting the headphones. So if you want to see the unboxing, see what they look like, here is the link. But anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all are having an excellent day. Now today's episode is mostly going to be, I would say maybe about Apple heavy, if you know what I mean, because most of the news is going to be around Apple, but I do have that one Samsung story. So without further ado, let's get it going. So story number one, first story up. Before we talk about any of the Apple rumors and the iPhone 13, let's get the Samsung story out of the way. So as you know, I did discuss Samsung was working on their own system to make a debit card just similar to Apple Card, but not entirely a credit style, although it kind of is. Well, Samsung has officially announced the project called Samsung Money. Now this is in collaboration with SoFi and MasterCard. They are bringing you an experience for Samsung users where you can use their card, and it's very similar to what Apple does. Now Apple's card is pretty much, in my opinion, pretty good for the Apple ecosystem, and it makes sense if you're an Apple user. You have the iPhone, you have the iPad, you have Apple products. So it definitely makes sense if you want to go in that route. Now for Samsung users, this is definitely a plus. However, I do have one bit of concern, as most people that I know don't use Samsung Pay, and mostly it's Google Pay, and now Google's coming out with their own debit card, so I don't necessarily understand if I would per se use this, but I do think it's pretty cool if you are a frequent Samsung Pay user or if you're a Samsung user as well. Now in the article, it breaks down that the account will not only be secure, there will be no account fees or any fees of that matter. It's basically going to do what Apple did, but also it will have a lot of rewards. It will give you a lot of benefits when you use it to pay for Samsung products or anything of that matter. I'm sorry guys, I cannot speak today. And also, they will have both a physical and digital card. The physical card is reportedly going to be made out of titanium. That is the new norm. And the card itself actually looks pretty cool, I have to admit. Now, that's all good and well, but the question is, can you use the card and use it for other things? Well, there is not a lot of detail here that does explain it, but I will say more information is coming out. The card is set to debut in the summer. You can join the waitlist. So if you want to join the waitlist for Samsung Money, I will leave a link in the description. You could check it out and you could sign up if you want to sign up. I will definitely give up more information when the news becomes provided. Now that we got this out of the way, let's head over to the iPhone 13. Take a look at the main story first because I have a few other stories on the side. So let's get the main one out of the way for Apple, the iPhone 13. Now for a while, the iPhone 13 is shaping up to be a relatively awesome phone. Well, a lot of people are speculating, rumoring, after all the breakdowns of every single person talking about the size, the phone, the variants, the 5G to this and that. The one most common area that most people kind of are focused on is the camera. Now it's been confirmed it is going to have a triple camera setup along with probably a fourth camera and time of flight sensor. That is the supposed rumor. Well, according to Mac Rumors and a leaker called Fudge, aka Chowbit, he is a leaker who sometimes shares information on Apple devices. Well, it looks like he shared an image, and this is the image you're seeing. Now, keep in mind, I don't know where he got this image. I don't know if this rumor is true, but I will say this, taking a look at this leaker, I don't know exactly, it's questionable because it is very early on and Apple really hasn't started making prototypes. So take this rumor with a grain of salt that I'm telling you. So according to this leaker, The camera array is going to be a 64 megapixel wide angle lens, a 40 megapixel telephoto lens with 3 to 5 times optical zoom, and 15 to 20 times digital zoom. It will also be a 64 megapixel lens for video capture, a 2:1 ratio. You will have a 40 megapixel ultra wide angle with optical reverse zoom, and you'll have your time of flight sensor 4.0. Now again, take this with a huge amount of salt, people, because again, this is so early on about this rumor, but I felt it was important to tell you this because sometimes these rumors do end up being true and sometimes they are backed up in claims. So I just wanted to put this out there. I'm not trying to tell you this is the official, and I'm telling you right now, do not take this seriously. However, take it with a grain of salt, and if it is true, we can use this back as reference. But I will say, it does, to me, I feel like they are gonna move up to a 4th camera system because Apple, as you know, in my opinion, I'm just gonna say it, Apple's cameras are actually not that bad. They do some great color quality, they have some great captures, especially some of the videos, and Apple definitely would wanna go all out on this phone. But the thing is that again, there is not enough prototypes being made, there is hardly any talk of production going on, so I don't know exactly if I can get along with this rumor, with this camera setup. However though, it is interesting to note because a lot of the rumors are speculating it. So again, if you choose to believe this, it's your path, but I say it and I will say it again, take this with a grain of salt. Now with that out of the way, let's move it over back to Apple with some Apple rumors. So now moving up, let's move over to Ming-Chi Kuo. Now as you know, Ming-Chi Kuo is one of the most reliable Apple leakers in the field right now, and this one kind of backs up the iPhone rumors, but actually does start to make a little bit of sense. Now I cover this on the SMT podcast where I hosted, and I just want to say it right now, this is really the downfall for Apple and the start that I think you all need to start realizing. So according to Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple is looking to not include EarPods headphones in the iPhone 12 box. It is said not only to boost Apple AirPods sales, but also help to maintain their wireless future. Now this is again in line with what I've said about Apple going portless with the iPhone 13. Not only has it been speculated and rumored to happen, but this is the first indication. Listen guys, the AirPod brand itself is making them a ton of money. I want to disclaim that as well. So not only will they be making more money, but more people will be buying them. That's number one. Number two, Apple is set to drop the Lightning port in favor of wireless charging and just remove it so you can go wireless. So this again, by removing some of the most typical standard things in a box, like headphones, it shows you that now you're getting less and less, but now you have to fully embrace this wireless future. Now again, I've talked in great detail about this wireless future. If you want to check out that video, I will leave a link at the end to the SMT podcast where I hosted with Sam. You can check out the rumors for yourselves. It's up to you if you believe it or not, but like I said, this is the official start. Once Apple doesn't include EarPods in the box, that is your official start to the wireless future that Apple is hoping to push. And rip to many people that actually prefer wire charging. And last story up, another Apple rumor, and this is the last one. This has to do with audio. Now, according to Apple insiders, it looks like Apple is researching some kind of audio system that uses speaker airflow for cooling. Now, we don't know exactly what this system is going to be used. Some people are speculating it's going to be a smaller speaker system like the newer HomePod. Well, taking a look at the detail, it looks like Apple has filed a patent that will use dual speaker enabled cooling that will allow for better airflow, no air fan or ventilation needed, and will help with heat dissipation as well. Now, we don't know exactly where this is going, but if you look at the patent itself, it does show what Apple wants to do with their audio, not only produce high quality audio, but also some internal cooling. Now, if we take a look at Apple's track record with cooling, yeah. But if I had to bet my top dollar on an air cooling filter system like this, my top dollar wouldn't be the HomePod, because if you're gonna make a smaller one, why would you wanna put so much technology into it and charge more money for it? That's just my thing. But this audio system could probably be in line with maybe a soundbar, or who knows what Apple could be throwing this into. It has been rumored that Apple might be working on a sound system with Siri enabled. That's just a very far right field rumor, so don't even look at that. But if this is going into a HomePod, I would predict it would be a premium follow-up to the HomePod, the original. That would be my suggestion. But again, we don't know too much about this, but I wanted to throw that in there just to give you guys a little bit of heads up on what Apple's working on internally in their audio department. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. So guys, again, this one was a little bit all over the place. I wanted to get the main story out of the way so you could follow up with all the other things going on with Apple. As always, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, hit that like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody, and peace.